Know the Faith and Those Who Live It. I'm your host, Casey Bassett, filling in for Renee as she is out. We're joined in the studio today by Elsa Fokken. Welcome, Elsa.
Thank you so much.
Elsa has joined us to talk about her conversion experience, which is a recent event for her to the Catholic Church. So I'm excited to talk to her and excited to get the details. We've had quite a few of these on in the past, these conversion experiences told in the past couple months, and every single one of them is different and unique. So they're always a blessing to hear. So Elsa, why don't we start, we'll start with early on growing up. What was your encounter with God, even with the Catholic Church, if you had it back then? What did it look like in your youth?
So I come from a Dutch Reformed family. All my relatives are from Iowa. So there was no Catholic encounter whatsoever growing up. But my mother, who raised me as a single mom growing up, was very devout to Jesus. And I want to say that I didn't necessarily have a direct relationship, but I had a sort of transitive relationship through her.
Okay.
And as a child, I went to church with her every Sunday, and I almost checked the boxes, I guess, you know. But I can't say that I ever really felt like I had a true personal relationship as a child.
Okay.
But I was in the Protestant churches.
Sure. And when did you see that shift start to happen in you? Was there a time where you sort of, before even learning about or having contact with Catholic faith, where you started to grow in that personal relationship, even in your Dutch Reformed tradition?
Yeah. It's almost hard for me to put it to words, because I think what I've realized now, after my conversion, is that, one, growing up without a super stable father figure, I do feel like I was adopted by the Holy Spirit.
Wow.
From a super young age.
Okay.
And I do feel like I felt supernatural, divine protection most of my life.
Okay.
But that still didn't necessarily lead me to a direct personal relationship with Jesus until a year and a half ago.
Oh, wow.
Really.
Okay.
It's so recent. And it was always there, like on the other side of a veil, but like my own wounding and my own stubbornness really kept me like at an arm's reach distance from a relationship.
Sure. I'm going to spin off a question here.
Okay.
So you're kind of describing God is reaching out to you throughout your youth, and there's a reluctance there. Were there times when you felt that pull more strongly from him? Were there other people that you encountered in your youth that maybe brought that pull out more? Or was it always just kind of a constant pulling?
That is a great question. I really think it was a constant pulling.
Sure.
I did end up, this is my first encounter with Catholicism.
Okay.
I did end up selecting an all-girls Catholic college.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh, interesting.
It was an interesting choice. And so that really, I will say, was my first encounter with Catholic culture. But it was more like Catholic teenagers, which maybe is a whole separate culture, which we don't have time to get into.
Right.
But to answer your specific question, it was really always a constant reaching out to get me back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, was there any contention family-wise with going to an all-girls Catholic college or anything, or was it pretty much just fine?
It was pretty much just fine. I think my parents were just happy that I
Sure.
was going to
Sure.
a college at that point. You know, at that time in my life, I did have a father figure,
Okay.
and he essentially adopted me and my mom, and I think that they were just happy that I was getting a secondary education whatsoever.
Sure.
So there wasn't any contention
Okay.
about that.
Okay. So this is news to me because I didn't know that your experience with Catholicism was this recent.
Mm-hmm.
Let's maybe fast forward to that point, the first point where you really kind of came in that encounter with Catholicism.
Yeah. So, you know, I'll fast forward from, you know, my childhood of, you know, God constantly trying to pull me back and me being very of the world and very petulant in my own earthly way, you know, through my college years. And then I had a period of being so super lost, so lost to the world. And I was called after that period of just like utter wandering,
Okay.
to just move back home, you know, just like go touch ground, reroute a little bit.
Sure.
And I met my husband almost immediately after I moved back. So I'm going to fast forward again now to where I'm married, and my husband and I have 3 children.
Okay.
And we, for the first 4-5 years of raising our family, we raised them of the world.
Okay.
Completely. You know, at that point, I did believe in God, and I always have in a way, but it's been very nebulous.
Sure.
Just sort of like, yeah, there's something out there, something I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband, he felt a similar way in a different color, but it was like a similar perception. So we just raised our kids really without any faith life. Oh man, and that just hit the wall hard. I mean, it just imploded. And I think
Really?
one day, it was like we felt like we were doing everything right as parents. And we just looked at each other one day, and we just both, I mean, totally divine, totally of the Holy Spirit. We looked at one another and we just said, why isn't this working? Like, how could our children be so virtueless when we're trying so hard to impart these virtues into them?
Uh-huh.
And we just knew it was like this weird thing where we both just said, we need to go to church. Let's take them to
Wow.
church. Like, I think that that's the only thing left for us. And my experience with Protestant churches just left, I don't want to say a bad taste in my mouth, but it left an unfulfilled flavor.
Sure.
It just felt not reverent enough for me. And my husband said, well, I am Catholic. I actually grew up Catholic. I had no idea, Casey. I had no idea. And he said, I don't know if I ever told you that, but I think that maybe we should just go to the Catholic Church. And I was totally on board. I felt like whatever it's going to take for our kids,
Sure.
to really get them back on track.
Sure.
And so we went to Mass for the first time together on Mother's Day of last year.
Wow.
That was my first Catholic Mass.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to say a couple points. You, in a couple of the things you said, you strike me as a very humble person. And the reason I say that is because you described yourself as petulant. I've never heard a convert describe themselves as, or their early life as petulant. That takes not only a lot of insight, but a lot of courage to do that. And the second thing is the fact that, and this is why I say that conversion stories are all different, but most conversion stories that I've heard, the person has a sort of a personal journey. There's nothing really external that they are, I don't want to say concerned about, but there's nothing really pulling them. They kind of have this journey themselves, and there are people that come in and go and that have an impression on them. but for you, it was your kids. And that's such a powerful testament to, I think, just love in general, and the power that love can generate in people. And I've never heard a story like that, to be honest with you. And the fact that you and your husband had that conversation at the exact same time, and we're both thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I have to believe that the Holy Spirit was deeply involved in that.
Oh, there's no doubt.
So
There's no doubt whatsoever. Yeah.
So I'm stricken by that. I've never heard a story like that. So why don't we talk about your first experience of Mass? And can you tell me, did it feel like you were in the right place at that time, or was it a little bit unnatural? Did it take some time to get used to, or what did that look like?
Again, just reiterating that I had absolutely no contact really with a Mass. I did go to a Catholic college, but I never attended Mass when I was there. The closest thing I got to Catholic was seeing nuns on bikes. Sure. That's the closest I got. Right. So I didn't know what to expect, and I just wept the whole time.
Oh, wow.
The whole time I just wept because it felt like I'd been trying so hard for so long to basically create my own form of reverence for myself, for our family. And it just was like, it really was like a weight lifted, because it's like there's nothing to me more reverent than the Mass. Mm-hmm. And I didn't need to know what was going on to know that it doesn't get more reverent than this. And I just knew that it's exactly what our family needs and continues to need. Wow. And I just felt like I'm home. I found it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, immediately.
Did your husband follow the same trajectory? Did he feel the same way right away, or did it take him a while to get used to it again? I know you said he was Catholic, so.
Yeah, he comes from, I say this with no disrespect, just as a way to help you understand our family. Sure. Yeah. He came from pretty much a cradle Catholic family. Okay. And so the faith was not necessarily like imbued within him. It was more like an obligation. Yeah. So he felt that same sense of, this is what we've been missing. And I think that our trajectories were very similar, even though I grew up Protestant and completely fell away, and he grew up as, let's just say, a lukewarm Catholic.
Okay, yeah.
But still just wasn't really sure how he felt about all of it. Mm-hmm. But we both felt the same way at the same time. We both felt like this is beautiful in ways that words can't even describe. This is the reverence that we seek. This is the way that we want to worship and praise, and this is what our family's missing. And it was very unanimous. And I can't say that we, stayed on that high. Mm-hmm. As I went through OCIA and as he watched me go through that process, we did have a lot of back and forths and conversations and questions and doubts that came up. So it ended up being a roller coaster of highs and lows after our initial just awe and like bliss from that first Mass. But, it's amazing to me that really we've both felt pretty much the same way.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the fact that you have described it sort of as that initial high and then, the sort of tapering off, I respect anybody who has, who can describe that journey, because a lot of times people who ride that high, cradle Catholics or converts alike, doesn't matter who it is, they have that spiritual experience, that initial really powerful spiritual experience. But then as that wanes, that perseverance goes away, and God at that point is asking you to work. He's letting go a little bit of your hand and asking you to take those strides. And for so many people, that's so difficult. But the fact that you can introspect and see that, I think, is very powerful. The other thing I'll say is the reason we talk to converts is one of the main reasons is for Cradle Catholics, because I'm a Cradle Catholic. And when I get the chance to talk to a convert and hear their story and see their enthusiasm, and for me, that lights my fire again.
Yeah.
And that's the same for so many people. So you're, as a convert, you're an inspiration to the Cradle Catholics who are perhaps lukewarm at times and whatnot. So I appreciate you telling the story. If you're just joining us, we're talking to Elsa about her journey into the Catholic Church. And I'd like to kind of jump into your OCIA process next and what that looked like. And if you're willing to maybe share, for a lot of converts, there's theological questions that they have, and a lot of times there's challenges that with the theology and with the moral teachings of the church. And as much as you want to share, I'm just curious, as you went through OCIA, did any of those come up? And how did you work through those with your husband and with the OCIA leaders and with your peers in the group?
We only have 28 minutes, you said?
Yes.
Okay. I'll try to pick out some of the main things.
Okay.
Because yes, all of that was there. Conversion, it's another word for transformation, right? And
Right.
Transformation's not supposed to be pain-free,
Right.
and it's not supposed to be easy and simple. There are a lot of really deep questions that you have to ask because you're letting a part of yourself go and you're accepting this new part. And so, the whole process for me of OCIA was nothing but question after question.
Sure.
And God bless my husband for being so patient with me and being willing to listen to all of my questions that I would have. I'm trying to think of some of the things that were really hard. And, okay, this is kind of the touch button topic, but contraception, okay, yep. That's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
And my husband and I love our children so much, but we do sometimes question if we can even support more
Yes.
than 3 children financially. And so we did have to have a lot of discussions about the nature of marital, conjugal relationships. And we did have to have conversations even about if the way that we are interacting with each other in a safe marital way, if that's still the highest form of love.
Sure.
Or if we still have old habits, from our teenage years. And, we absolutely did. We had to have some really, really devastating conversations. Mm-hmm. And I don't need to get into all the details, but they were devastating. Yeah. To really look at yourself and say, I don't know if I've been respectful to you. I don't know if I've been respectful to myself. And I don't know if I've been respectful to our marriage through a Catholic lens. Mm-hmm. That's really, really hard.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a big conversation throughout. And then I do want to say that through that, I actually have taken a natural family planning course.
Sure.
So that I can be a teacher, because now
an instructor.
I believe in that so strongly
wow.
now that it's funny that the thing that can, be that you struggle with, that you struggle to
right.
accept, you can actually be so impassioned
right.
by
yeah.
that. So yeah, praise God for that. And then I think the other thing that was really difficult for me was also the concept of the Eucharist in general, right? Because I grew up as a Protestant, and that just wasn't really
right.
there. And so truly believing that Jesus is there at Mass with us, it took a while for me to transform myself enough to accept that.
Sure.
And believe that.
Sure. The Eucharist was one of the questions I had, because that's always kind of a sticking point, especially for Protestants when they come in.
Yeah.
Was there anything in particular, like adoration or anything, that really helped sort of I don't know, manifest that belief in you more? Or was it more of just having to sort of kind of get in that mindset every Mass of this is the true presence, you know, and kind of like, I don't want to say will that belief, but sort of make that belief solidified in you?
I read a book actually, and it's, I believe it's just called The Eucharist by Bishop Barron.
Yes, yeah.
And wow, I think anybody that was struggling with that concept, Protestant or Catholic alike, that book was really pivotal for me. And like the way that I summarize it in my own brain, that really just makes me feel so excited every time I get to receive, is that, you know, Adam and Eve, they ate something. They ate something from God, and it caused the entire fall of humanity. And now in order for humanity to become holy again, we literally have to eat God.
Sure.
And that maybe sounds barbaric, but it almost seems like this, like, I don't know, like the homeopathic medicine or something. It just
That's
seems,
an interesting way to put it. Yeah.
It just seems like, wow, God did that. It's like we took something from God, so God gave us himself. And it's really that simple, and it's really that beautiful. And like, we really are receiving him every single time.
Wow. That's insight that it floors me to think that you only have been, you know, in touch with the church for a year or so. That's wonderful insight. So why don't we talk a little bit about, I want to talk about sort of the Easter Vigil, when you actually were confirmed, and then beyond that, like if you wanted to get into a little bit with your relationship with your families and what that's looked like, how your peers have developed and whatnot, if you've made friends along the way. So let's start with the Easter Vigil. Was there anything particularly powerful about that for you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't think that I actually felt Catholic until the Easter Vigil.
Oh, really?
I felt like I was struggling towards it.
Sure.
And that I was like hoping for it, you know, and even like a week before, it almost felt like getting married or something.
Oh,
And
wow.
I almost had like cold feet, like, oh, am I sure I'm cut out for this? And when I was standing with all of the other catechumens with our candles and our sponsors, and the bishop is right there lighting the candle from the fire, and then we're all preparing to walk in together, that moment of walking through the doors is something that is really hard for me to put into words, but it just felt like finally being where I was supposed to be and being who I was supposed to be. And it was so powerful. And having everybody's bodies and faces and spirits like facing us as we walked in, just ready to receive us with open arms, this like sentiment of welcome home. We're so happy you're here. That feeling state, I haven't experienced that before. Not even becoming a mother, truly made me feel like, wow, this many people are ready to, you know, receive us of our own volition. And that's a really important part too, is like, we're all choosing this, and everybody else here, they chose this too. And it's such just a supportive, astounding community. And I just felt blessed beyond belief.
Wow.
And then the other moment that felt like strangely powerful to me is when the bishop calls you by your patron saint name.
Sure.
And that just, I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't know that was going to happen. And it really felt like he put a saintly blessing over me that I get to carry now. And then it's so hard to condense it all. But yeah, the whole experience, just incredible. And then receiving the Eucharist for the first time.
Yes.
So amazing. As I was receiving the Eucharist on my tongue, I was having all these earthly thoughts like, oh, I don't know if I was ready for that. Is this just a cracker? This tastes like, what does this taste like? And then all of a sudden, all of those sensory experiences were totally washed, and it was just Jesus.
Wow.
It was like, that's it. That's all it was. I didn't have any other thoughts. It was just like his presence in me, and so amazing.
Wow, that is powerful.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your patron saint. Who is it, if I may ask?
It's Hildegard von Bingen.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Not one that you hear of too often. Was there any particular reason behind it?
I'm just so akin to her.
Yep.
It's just uncanny to me. So she's like the patron saint of sciences,
Yep.
and she wrote the first musical. And
I did not know that.
yeah, she did.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Play of
Interesting.
Virtues. You'll have to check it out.
I'll have to check it out. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah, but so
curious.
much about her just is in my life as well, and so she's like a guiding light for
Sure.
me.
Sure. We have just a couple minutes left. I wanted to ask you how your conversion has impacted your family and friends around you, if it has impacted them at all.
Yeah, I'm sure it has in ways that I don't even know yet. My mom's husband, my stepfather, he actually grew up Catholic.
Oh, okay.
And I'm curious, I don't know the answer yet, but I know that it's affecting my mother and her husband in some way, because my mom grew up so against Catholicism. Her husband voluntarily left the church, and now I'm going into it with their grandbabies, and we're choosing to raise their grandchildren as Catholic.
Sure.
And I think that there was like a fearful hesitancy from them at first, and they'd say things like, well, you don't even know what the Pope keeps down there under the Vatican, and
sure,
there
yeah.
could be secrets. And it was very just like almost like ungrounded thoughts, things that got put on them at some time that they stuck with. But now I think that they've been able to see our lives completely transformed, and I don't get any kind of pushback from them. I just get curiosity now. And other family members, my adoptive father, he attended our children's baptisms, and he's come to Mass. He came to our marriage convalidation. I think he'd be an awesome Catholic man. And I don't know. It's just like, it's curious to me to see these people that were so, I don't want to say against, but they never would have had an encounter. And now through us, they have had an encounter.
Sure. Elsa, I want to thank you for coming in today. It's been really just a pleasure to talk to you. And I wish the whole world would hear your story. It's very powerful. So thank you again for coming in.
Thank you so much.
If you want to learn more about the diocese, visit us on our website at sfcatholic.org. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. That's it for us today. Please join us again next time for more Catholic Views.